Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us here on the Daily Racing Forum YouTube. I'm Gino Buccola alongside Mike Beer. Producer Bobby helping us out as we get you ready for a grade one race at Kentucky Downs this Saturday, August the 29th. Let's take a look at the field for this one. It's been bumped up to a grade one now, the Kentucky Downs Ladies Turf Sprint. 6.5 on that turf course over there. And we're going to have last year's winner, AG Bullet, right back, grade one winner that won this race in 2024 and in 2025 also won the grade one Jiper. But when she won this race the last couple years, it was a grade two. Now she gets the chance to come in here and take a shot at a grade one. And she's just been a really nice, solid turf sprinter over the last couple years. She's right at the tip top of the division. She was second and third in the last two editions of the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint. So she's about as close to the top of the division as there can be.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. She's been a good horse for a really long time. And listen, they've spent, every once in a while they'll try her in a longer race or try to get a mile out of her. And she's pretty close to being a top mile or two. She's at her best sprinting, man. And if she runs her A race here, she'll be pretty hard to beat.
Yep. And we can take a look at the Timeform US pace projector. What may really help her on paper, there aren't
Yeah.
that many horses that are need the lead, going to be flying up front. So she could probably work out her own trip where she either gets to the front or sits second or third because she's not a need the lead horse, Mike. And that's what's really nice about her,
Yeah.
too, is that she can be forward. She can sit a couple lengths off if a horse like the nine or anyone else in here maybe wants to go. And that's what ultimately makes her really tough in a lot of these races, that she can just put herself in a great spot.
Yeah, she's so tactical. She's fast too. Don't make no mistake about it. If they wanted to lead, if they were just dead set on having it, she'll have it. She's really fast, but you don't have to send her to get there. She'll pull whatever kind of trip you want her to pull.
They're running for 1.75 million on
Yeah.
Saturday in this one. And we start things out with Moving On Up. I know producer Bobby is singing the Jeffersons theme song right now. This grade two winner, sprinting 5 furlongs on the turf, was in the grade two Caress last out, beat a couple other rivals who also come out of the Caress. And we can show you the replay of that one. They were absolutely flying early in this race, Mike. She was last of five. She was about 9 lengths out of it early, but the race set up perfect for her. You can see at the top of the lane, these horses who were battling it out early in our time in Sunna, they just set it up so nicely for Zeitlos and for Moving On Up. And you get Moving On Up to the outside. Zeitlos goes to the inside, but both of the closers got fantastic setups in there and came rolling late.
No doubt that the 1-2 finish there just took advantage of a great setup, and they both got clean runs into it too. It was absolutely perfect for Moving On Up to pick up a real quality win last time. We'll see how fast they go in here. She's a horse who I feel like when you start picking through her form, they don't sprint her that much, but she's pretty capable of sprinting. I think the 6.5 is probably a really good distance for her.
Yeah.
And her overall form is rock solid. I don't think I'll be betting her back off the perfect trip last time, but she could win.
Completely agree. Yeah, she's a really nice fit in this group from a
Yeah.
class standpoint, from a distance standpoint. We move to Love Cervere. I've always liked this filly. She's a grade three winner. She probably just needs a little bit of pace up front, but when you
Yeah.
go through her form overall in the last couple years, she doesn't have many bad races, and she's still pretty lightly raced. Like I feel like she's run more than
Me
the
too.
12 times that she's run. If she is anywhere near the price that they have here up on the board with her, to me, that's an insane price. Like if she's even half of that, that still feels like a big price.
Yeah.
So while I don't have her initially in my top four, I'm shocked to see this big of a price because another horse who really gets the distance. This distance is perfect for her because 5.5 is a little bit short for her with her running
Yeah.
style. And then when they get to like a mile or if they try to go like 7, that's a little far. But this probably hits her right between the eyes. And I'm going to try to find a way to get her in the mix
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah, I agree with you. I feel like, the pace part of it, I guess, is a little bit problematic because she kind of really is a closing turf sprinter. So maybe this won't set up well for her. And that's been the case in a lot of her races. I mean, she always doesn't always get the right setup and it compromises her chances. But man, it's hard to find even one race on her card, where she doesn't fire. I mean, she runs every single time. It's just whether or not she gets the right trip or not. And I'm glad you brought up the price point of this thing too. I don't think she's going to be 30-1, but I guess we'll see how they bet it. I can't imagine that they're going to bet this race along this morning line. It just doesn't make
No.
that much sense to me. There's too many horses that are way too big on the line in this race. I guess we'll see where she settles. She's going to be a price regardless, and it's also at least worth pointing out she ran really well here last year. One prior start at
Yep.
Kentucky Downs, and it's important for horses to have form over this turf course because a lot of horses will ship here and they won't run at all. They won't run to their form. She did last year. She ran really well here.
Horse. She comes out of a race in the Intercontinental where the sixth place finisher Creed's Gold came back and won a race that you and I just previewed, the
Yeah.
Grade 3 Hendry over at Woodbine, and looked pretty good in doing so. So comes out of a live race as well. Zeitlos, Grade 2 winner on the dirt, got her first career turf win in the Smart and Fancy on August the 14th at Saratoga over a yielding turf course. We showed you the replay where she was second to Moving On Up and she closed well inside. And you kind of know what you're going to get from her, Mike. And I will say, for a horse with her running style, the fact that she's a 10-time winner in 29 starts is actually really impressive, because generally horses like this, they're just kind of at the mercy of race shape and racing luck. And she certainly knows how to win races when she gets the right shape.
That's a really good point. I'm glad you brought that up. You're right, because with her running style, you'd think that she, maybe wouldn't have anywhere near that number of wins, but she does. Yeah, listen. She's really nice. She shows up every single time. We saw the replay of the Caress two-back. I was disappointed that she didn't win that race, considering the trip that she got. And then while she did win on the yielding turf last time at Saratoga, that wasn't much of a field, Gino. I mean, that Smart and Fancy came up really weak this year. This race to me is just way tougher.
Totally agree. I mean, if Moving On Up beat her on the square when they were both closing, and then if you're going to pick another closer in this race, there's a couple others that I just like a little bit more than her. We talked about one, Love Cervere, who could be 2 or 3 times the price of Zeitlos, and we kind of like more as a closer. So we move to AG Bullet, Grade 1 winner, speed but can sit off. Just an awesome resume. She comes out of a strong race in the Jaipur, where the 4th place finisher won next out with a 101 buyer. 8th place finisher won next out with a 91 buyer. I mean, you look at horses that were in there. John the Beer Man, who's come back live. He also won the Grade 2 Troy next out with a 100 buyer. 3 that finished behind her in the Jaipur have already come back to win so far. Just a really live race.
Jaipur was a really strong field, and probably stronger than this one. This is a good field. The Jaipur was a stronger field than this one. She's just, we already talked about it. She's really good. She's probably going to be able to get a really good trip either on or right up close to the pace in this race. And I don't think we need to go on and on about her. She's going to be the favorite. I think deservedly so. She's way the horse to beat in here. I mean, she ran great in this race, the Jaipur. It's a really good horse running past her just in the last, 100 yards or so.
Reef Runner has been one of the best turf sprinters in the world over the last year and a half or so. So AG Bullet right at the tip top of contention in this field. Time to Dazzle is the next one up. She's a Grade 2 winner at 5.5 on the turf, but she is just one for the last 13. She did finish second in the Grade 3 Hendry on the synthetic last time out, was 4th in this race last year, but another that wants to be coming from off the pace and probably needs a little bit of pace help up front.
Yeah, she probably does. There were other closers I liked more than her. This is a horse I've spent some time. I used to really like her. She's kind of lost me along the way, but she's not bad in here. Another horse is going to be a pretty good price in this race, who was far from impossible.
Grade 2 winner on the dirt is Jodys Pride. This 5-year-old mare is 0 for 4 on the grass, though. But she was 3rd in this race last year, because you look at the distance, and the distance is actually pretty good for her. The 6.5 on the turf. She is just 0 for her last 8, though, and only 1 for her last 13. This was a horse who was kind of precocious early in her career. She won a couple of races early, and she just hasn't been a win machine over the last few years.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say this hasn't really worked out for her after a somewhat promising start to her career. As a 2-year-old, she was actually really good. It's interesting, too, when you go all the way back. If you use Formulator, you can go all the way back and get the lifetime PPs for this horse. They thought she was a turf horse to begin her career. Her first 2 starts got rained off, and she just ran so well on the main track that they left her there. And she had some success. So, it only made sense to keep running her on dirt. But they thought she was a turf horse early on. She's bred to be a turf horse. She just hasn't really had that many chances on the surface.
And her figures on turf and dirt aren't that far off, right? Like, it's not you're looking at her and she's way faster or run way better by her speed figures on the dirt. So wouldn't be shocking to see her jump up with like another big effort, because that 3rd last year was not bad in this race. We move to Cloe. She is a stakes winner, multiple graded stakes placed, was a good 2nd last year, going 6.5 on the turf at Kentucky behind She's So Spicy. Even with that, I guess that would be my concern, is she able to win a race like this at 6.5? Because all of her wins are going 5.5 or shorter. So that would be my main concern, because she is a really talented horse, a 4-year-old filly, and she's got a lot of upside. She's only raced 10 times.
It's very, very true. Yeah, I wonder if she's just better going shorter. But as you've already pointed out, she ran really well here in the Music City last year. That's not a bad performance. It felt like, at least at that time, it was probably the best race she had ever run.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's really any way to deny that she's gotten better for Maker. Since the trainer changed to Maker this year, she's gotten better, and she comes into this race in great form.
Looking for her third consecutive win and coming off a 99 buyer speed figure last time out. We move to Sayidah Dariyan, who had a last time I was racing at Goodwood. This is a Group 3 winner, was only beaten a neck in a field of 13 most recently. Was sitting a pretty close fourth, only about 2 or 3 lengths off, made an early move to the lead, and was just second best that day. Was not a bad performance. And this horse has some pretty solid European form coming in from, races at Goodwood and Ascot and Newmarket. So I always get a little bit concerned the first time in the US with horses like this, especially in the sprints, because
Yeah,
sometimes the sprints we can be just a little faster earlier in these
yeah.
races than some of the horses internationally are used to. But from a class perspective, this horse absolutely fits. You don't see her on the pace projector because they don't have those US races there yet for her. What do you think about the new face here?
I mean, I think you got to consider a pretty dangerous horse in here. She's definitely a wild card. I'm with you on the pace part of it because we'll see some of these sprinters not be able to go early with our horses who were we just run at faster paces usually. Man, her overall form's really good though. I mean,
It
she's been
is.
keeping good company. She's been very competitive in those races. I'm used to seeing these European horses come over and run well at Kentucky Downs too, because it's kind of a European style turf course, and these horses are used to running on courses like that.
We moved to In Our Time, grade 2 winner. She did win at 6.5 furlongs over this turf course last year. And she exits some races. If you look at the early fractions, they have been going really fast early in the last couple. They went 20.87, 21.35, 21.62 in the last three. And I don't think they're going to be going anywhere that quick in this type of a race. And I think In Our Time has a real nice opportunity to just be up front in here and get a softer trip. Is she good enough?
Yeah,
I think that's a very fair question. Can she hold off horses like AG Bullet, who could
right.
sit close and some of these others? But from a trip standpoint, she should get a so much better trip in here than she has in her last couple where they were flying early. I'm going to upgrade her a lot off of that last race. And then look at some of the horses that she was facing, when she lost Roja and Shoot It True. And when she stumbled, couple starts back, Destino Dioro, who is in awesome form,
Yeah.
and Suggesta. Those horses going longer are just better than her, too. So I don't have a whole lot of knocks on her recently. I think she's going to run well. I hope they just come out running with her and try to get her right to the front.
Yeah, that's what I would do too. Just try to make the lead and see what happens. I mean, obviously, we already watched the replay of that caress, but and it's not that hard to watch that race back and go, well, I'd rather have In Our Time than either Moving On Up or Zeitlos the way
Yeah.
that race was running. I mean, she took the worst of it in there. And I guess they shouldn't go as fast in here. I guess the one thing that could hold me back from wanting her as, she might be the second choice on the morning line or the third choice at 6-1 is even if she goes forward, do you want to be in the position of being the one that has to race AG Bullet? Maybe you don't
Yeah.
want to be that horse because if you're not good enough to go with her and she brings the race to you, then that's going to leave you vulnerable to everybody else running from behind.
It could be a scary proposition with her just right to your outside, breathing down your
Yeah,
neck the whole time, right? And that
exactly.
may be where In Our Time is in here. Spirited Boss is the next one up. Comes off a runner-up effort in Southern California, was second going down the hill in the misdirection behind Queen Maxima. It was a pretty nice effort from her, and now back to back. Really solid races since they've cut her back to a turf sprint. She is a horse who I think is in pretty tough, but when you really do isolate her turf sprints, they're not bad at all. You could do a lot worse than her at 20-1 in here.
I agree. I mean, only recently decided that she's a turf sprinter, and they've been proven right. Her last two races are good. I know that she couldn't, get the job done last time, but Queen Maxima on her best day, she's one of the best turf sprinters in the country. She's really good when she's in form. This horse's last two races are rock solid.
The horse that she beat too, she's got a win going 7.5 on the turf in the Sanibel Island over a horse named Candy Quest and Savetta.
Yeah,
Those races, that's a good race too from Spirited Boss back there at Gulfstream Park. We moved to Vina Arana. I was kind of waiting for a performance from her like
I
she
know.
had at Woodbine in the Nassau. I bet her, Mike, a
Yep.
few times in a row, just kind of hoping for that. And she was bigger prices. And then they finally found a good field for her on July the 19th. And she just exploded. She
Yeah.
was last of six. She was like 8 lengths off. She makes this quick move up the inside. She angles around 3 wide and she opens up and just draws off. And you just kind of keep waiting for her to stop at some point, but she doesn't. She just keeps going and pours it on. Now, this is going to be her first start in her career that's shorter than 7 furlongs.
Yeah.
So that would be my big worry, is that she had that great trip going a mile where she came from off the pace. Does she get the setup here, cutting back to
Right.
6.5, where she's going to have to come from off of it? But that was a really nice performance and kind of a breakthrough win for her last time out.
Yeah, they're really, really, really good last time. And she was in good form going into that race anyway, but she really took it to another level last time. And I'm with you. Sometimes you would think, well, they're going to turn her back to a shorter distance here, and it could, maybe they just think that this is what she wants to do. When you're going for this kind of money, Kentucky now, guys are just going to be taking shots, man.
Absolutely.
So who knows? Maybe they don't even think that, but they might as well take a shot at this big purse here and see if it doesn't happen. Big deal. You can stretch her right back out. But I do think she's pretty talented.
Me too. As we round things out with Buttercream Babe, she was fifth behind Chloe last time out in that Hummingbird at Ellis Park on August the 1st. Buttercream Babe did break her maiden going 6.5 on the turf at Kentucky, major positive. She has multiple graded stakes placed. Feels like she'd probably need a career best in here, though, to compete with this group. She's drawn away to the
Yeah.
outside. What do you think about her chances here?
Yeah, she's a really nice horse. I'm actually a fan of hers. I guess I don't love her in here. I guess it's at least worth pointing out though, since they've spent most of this year sprinting her. Pretty good success. I mean, she's run really well sprinting so far this year, and she's also another one of those horses who's already run well at Kentucky Downs several times. So you don't really have to worry about that piece of it either. I've seen worse 20-1 shots than her.
And what's nice, she's got a little versatility to her. She
Yeah,
doesn't need to be way out of
yeah,
it. She can kind of be placed into the race from the outside. If you told me she was sitting like third or fourth here from the outside, that wouldn't shock me early on. But from a class standpoint, really tough group, fun group in the
yeah.
grade one ladies turf sprint. We know that they'll all have to worry about AG Bullet and try to get by her, Mike, but how are you going to stack them up here with selections?
Yeah, I'm not way against AG Bullet. I mean, she's just so clearly the horse to beat. I have her second in here. I just want to take one more shot. I'll admit, and so just so everybody's aware, they don't have to follow me on this one. I've been chasing Love Cervere for a while here. I do think she's way better than the results that she gets on paper. She always runs. I'm gonna hope she gets the right trip in here and can get there at a price.
I completely agree with you on her. I've played her a bunch of times, and
Yeah,
if I saw that or thought she was going to be that big of a price, she would have
yeah,
been in my top four for sure, because you always got to upgrade horses that are bigger prices than you think they should be there.
yeah,
For me, I'll go In Our Time. We'll see if she can get out front. Maybe AG Bullet gets a little comfortable sitting back a bit, and In Our Time can maybe steal this thing on the front
yeah.
end, exiting some really fast races. So we both feel like AG Bullet's the one to beat. We both have Chloe in the mix as well. 2, 4, 7, 11 for Mike, 9, 4, 8, 7 for me. But who do you like? We'd always love to hear from you. Drop a comment in the comment section below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Best of luck playing the races at Kentucky Downs on Saturday.